Hey everybody, I'm Eric. This is Gary. We just got done shooting the episode that you're about to watch. We hope you love it. We're smoking the Espinosa Crema today, and we were talking about all kinds of fun stuff today. We were comparing this one to the sticks we normally like, gateway sticks, getting in the sticks, Cedar Culture, what it means to be in the culture of learning new sticks, sharing new ideas, getting new people into smoking. It's going to be a real fun episode. We're glad to have you. This is Cedar Culture.
Let's bundle these leaves and burn them and suck on them.
All right, so this is going to be a fun one. Like normally, Gary and I, we both like smoking darker sticks. I think.
Absolutely.
Well, not I think, for sure. This is a lighter. This is a Connecticut Shade, an Ecuadorian Connecticut Shade. It's the Crema by Espinosa. Ecuadorian Connecticut Shade, wrapping around a Nicaraguan binder and filler. From Espinosa, coming out of Esteli, Nicaragua, their La Zona factory. Not a whole lot of other information on this one necessarily. Nothing. It's not like we've been saying they were not necessarily hiding anything. We just didn't dig up a little bit.
And Connecticut's tend to be that way. Connecticut's are just kind of like one tobacco. Not gonna, not expecting a whole lot of profile changes. Just kind of what a Connecticut is.
Yeah,
light,
I mean,
mild.
I don't know what the blend is. It could be more than one tobacco, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the blend is. But interesting though, because I did read that they had said that this is meant to be like a gateway stick.
Okay.
Into the Espinosa brand, and I will say like the two Espinosa sticks that come to my mind that I've had that I really like are the Wasabi and the Murcielago.
Okay.
And neither of them are like a mild gateway stick. That Murcielago I love. It's got such a cool band. I don't know if you can picture it. It's the one with the bat wings on it.
Yes.
And I'll put a picture of it in the video here.
And you love the Wasabi, which is
I
a
love the
Candela,
Wasabi,
which I've kind of shied away from. So I'm kind of excited to get more into the Espinosa
Maybe
brand.
this will get you into them as a gateway. But I'm actually a little worried because if this is meant to be a gateway for because you can't handle their other stuff, but I like their other stuff.
Right.
Is this going to feel like a step back?
Well, you know what? In general, Connecticut's are the best-selling stick in the cigar world, just because I think they
but that's also like saying that's why a lot of restaurants don't put a lot of spice and flavor in their food because it appeals to most people.
You're right.
But I like, so I would call it most of that crap.
So and that's kind of why I say I'm not expecting. Not that I'm not expecting a lot, because Espinosa is a nice boutique brand. They have a lot of fantastic sticks in their line, but I'm not expecting we like those journeys where first, third, second, third, feeling it, but. I'm excited to.
No, I'm good. I mean, I would say victory if this winds up. If I wind up enjoying it from start to finish without a lot of changes, but just a subtle, nice smoke.
100%.
I'll call that a victory.
And I think the term gateway is kind of smart too, because I think Connecticut's are gateways.
It's like a drug.
You don't exactly.
Yeah.
But you don't want to give someone something that they're going to
from
be
the crema to meth in no time.
Booting black tar heroin after an Espinosa.
Somebody had such a. One of my friends in a group text recently had such a good, they call it Colombian Bam Bam.
Tell you, I wasn't expecting a little bit of pepper in the first hit.
Me neither, but
also could be.
If I had to guess, that's going to go away.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, that's going to go away pretty quickly. I'll tell you what, it draws really nicely. It's smooth. You had mentioned like bready on the dry draw and the smell. That feels right on.
Wow, it is funny because first hit was real peppery, less peppery on the second, but I'm getting a linger of pepper on the back of my tongue, back of palate. But
there's no way that stays.
Creamy smoke.
It is. You're right.
Velvet, like velvety smooth smoke. Really, really.
But underground,
Velvet underground.
But it was actually kind of funny. I happened to watch a video of Eric Espinosa doing a factory tour.
Mm-hmm.
And he went by like a draw tester machine, and he had said that they don't draw test all their sticks, because only their newest rollers, their sticks get draw tested. They don't draw test all of them. They're just that confident in their skills. That's cool. That's coming to mind as I'm smoking this and how it's just effortless. It does draw.
And beautiful construction. I think you and I were kind of guessing. We're kind of seeing a triple cap on there, but beautiful construction. You went with a straight cut. I went with a V cut. And the caps still look intact. No construction issues from the beginning of the burn.
Dude, did you see, speaking of construction issues, that picture I texted to the group the other day? It was I forget what the stick was, and I don't want to say it anyway because I don't think it's their fault.
That weird
that tunneling, like crazy.
That
tunneling.
wasn't a tunnel. That was caving. I've seen tunneling. Literally, for maybe we can add the picture if you can't recognize what the cigar is.
Yeah.
But literally, the center of the cigar was gone.
Dude,
like
it was
black hole.
weird. I should have saved it. I threw it away. I should have saved it to show you in person.
Oh, the cigar, yeah.
The
But no, we have the picture.
The picture, but no, to show you the picture in person because, dude, it's crazy. It's like, and the way it was so perfect that, like, I've seen tunneling where, to me, tunneling is, maybe there's a couple stems or or something like that went through the middle of the stick, and that burns faster, and so you see a little dot that went through. This was
a donut.
If let's just say the ring gauge of the stick was a 50, the tunnel was like a 45 ring gauge, right? Like it was huge, and then all that was left was a thin ring halo, like a eclipse.
It almost reminded me like if the stick got like wet and like the outside couldn't burn and only like the inside stayed dry. But that's not what it looked like. But
I know what you mean. It was like perfect. I know what you mean though.
One thing before I forget, there's a white fabric footband just on it. Kind of gives it a little distinction and cool, and obviously protects the foot in case of a. I think they have guys like me in mind because I usually say, why do they put a footband on? But for guys that drop their cigars like me most of the time, protects the foot a little bit. You still getting that spice?
No, it's mellowing out.
Mellowing out.
You too?
A lot of bread, a lot of like just.
That retrohale too is like so creamy. It's thick. It's like smoking ice cream. It's like so thick.
And but
in a good way.
For cigar smokers out there, you get different smoke profiles, and absolutely, it's like a heavier, denser feel in your mouth, but really good, like substance. Like you were joking ice cream, but it has a creamy, almost a textured smoke.
So cigars that are like actually pointed at both ends.
The double perfectos.
Perfecto, yeah. Do you know why they created that shape?
My only thought is it's easier to light, or maybe they didn't have enough tobacco to finish the stick.
It is because it's easier to light. And so the idea was with one hand, it's got a thin tip, so I can just nibble that like thin tip off. And then on the other thin end, when you light it, you don't have to do a whole toast.
Right.
Because it's just a little point to light. So it's easier to light with one hand. So you got it right, but you just didn't know why. But that was a good guess. I would have never guessed that.
I've only had 2 double perfectos in my entire life, and I was so concerned about they're usually a higher end stick.
I don't know.
The 2 that I had were higher end sticks. But I was so concerned about it. I was lighting like an eighth of what the ring gauge was actually going to be, But the burn.
Oh, I know what you mean. The first time I lit one like that, there's no way it's going to go out. Yeah, and it does, and it did. But so that's the whole point. That's why it exists that way.
And you get a weird. The first third is interesting on those sticks because you get a very dense collection of the tobacco in the beginning.
Oh yeah,
and then
I dig it. I haven't smoked enough of them to have like an opinion on them.
Right.
But like I'm interested.
Fits better
I'm
in
interested.
your mouth.
I'm interested. You know what I'm saying?
You've caught Eric's eye.
That's my fact of the day. So we didn't mention, this stick, and this gets into the pet peeve that I bring up like every other episode about sizing. So the size of this stick is a Rabito.
Right. Which I argue that is not a real size.
Well, it's not. And so here's the thing. Here's what pisses me off. So that's a 6x46 is a Rabito. Now a Toro, which is a very common cigar size, is a 6x50.
Right.
So instead of being a Toro 6x50, they made this a 6x46. And they call it a Rabito.
Maybe when they ordered their molds, they got this.
But the thing is, like, can you just call it like a little bit of a shorter Toro? You know what I mean? Like, I'm a short person, but they still call me a person. Like, they didn't come up with a whole new definition for me because of my size.
We're getting there.
So why do they need a whole new definition for this? Because I think it gets back into what we always talk about with just cigar smoking and like we want it to be more accessible. Like, we try to make it accessible to the people around us. Like demystify things or whatever.
And we're still trying to grasp, like, what?
Yeah, we're not experts. It's just something like it's a passion of ours. Because for so many people, we've both encountered in our personal lives, even though we're not experts by any means, but people come to us because cigar smoking is so intimidating. Like, I've never had nobody comes to me and asks me for advice on any purchase in their life.
Right.
but they call them the cigars because it's so confusing, and because I know 1% more than them, I'm an
Right.
expert.
Yeah, yeah. And
It's ridiculous. Like to just standardize some things would be really nice for people, I think.
Yeah, and I think it goes to, we were talking about different companies are trying to stand out with sizes and things like that.
Yeah.
Like, what was that monstrosity that we just traded for? What is it, like a 8x80 or something ridiculous?
Yeah, that's thick. Whatever the biggest meat eater it is.
It's huge.
Saka. It is huge. But we bought it as like a novelty. And
Yeah, like
I almost
that'll be
wonder if that's what it was created for. Answering text messages while you're fucking on,
My-
while we're recording, dick.
My phone, my watch vibrated. I was just making sure everything was okay.
Meanwhile, my phone's recording us, so I'm just like disconnected from the world.
I know, you're lucky.
Dude, so all right, so all of our spice is gone. Right?
Your spice is gone? I just got a little bit of almost like a red pepper.
I just got a little bullshit. But what I was gonna say is it's kind of cool now because for me this steak is super creamy
retro.
and not spicy at all.
Mm.
And the beer I'm drinking is from a local brewery around here called 8 and Sand, and the beer is called Bad Hombre, and it's a stout with chilies, cinnamon, coffee, vanilla, and lactose. It's fucking dope.
Have you ever had that before?
Oh yeah, and I've got a whole case. Well, I had a case of it.
Wow.
For a couple weeks ago, and I had a couple people over for the game. A friend of mine brought a case because we both like it, and it's seasonal. From 8 and Sand, they only have it this time of year.
Chilies, man. Can you taste the heat of the chili in there?
Oh yeah, do you want to take a sip?
I
nah.
will. I will.
Okay.
I will. Off camera, so it's not documented.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a little bit of red pepper on, like not the retrohale, but on the intake. I also scalded my tongue on hot coffee, which also could be fucking with my flavors.
Are you drinking coffee?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say because we need to
so-
talk about this revelation.
Yeah, no, that's
So
true.
38 years old,
39.
39. I always guess your age wrong. Because I'm 37. I literally, oh my god, the math I just
You
did.
know how old you are.
No, the math I did was I'm 36 and you are therefore 38, but I'm 37. I'm gonna be 38 next month.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Getting there, bud.
We are getting there. So,
So much so that we can't remember our
oh,
ages.
coffee. So at 73, however old you are.
Yeah, almost 40. And my wife is a coffee fanatic. Like, I mean, coffee snob, as crazy as I've gotten into cigars, like she, started coffee probably right around high school age and was like, man, I always envisioned
The gateway drug. She got on the coffee
On
in
the
high
cough,
school.
as
She
they
got on
call
the
it.
cough in high school.
On the
She
bean.
was so excited studying for a test.
No, I think just from work and doing all that. But she was like, I always envisioned sitting having coffee with my husband. I was like, nah, I just never really had the taste for it. And I tell you, I
So
attribute it.
so you either had to start drinking coffee or she was going to divorce you because she envisioned drinking coffee.
She gave me the 10-year plan. Like, we're
she
like married
envisioned-
almost 11 years.
She envisioned drinking coffee with her husband.
Let me tell you the story of why I think I never liked coffee. Summer 1987.
Where,
we're on
let me get a
vacation.
doll. Where did the coffee touch you?
Exactly. I'm going to tell you. This
Where
was
did the coffee touch
heartbreaking.
you?
We are on vacation. I believe Lake Okoboji. I'm not sure what state it was in. I'm telling you. I remember this specifically. I was out playing. I was out fishing. It's like 107 degrees. My mom put out iced coffee for the adults and like Pepsi with ice cubes. In those like hotel clear glass
She
cups.
should have just gotten Pepsi Cola. Called it a day. I love that stuff.
Do you really?
Oh, I did. Well, did yeah.
I was a Crystal Pepsi man. So I
You're
reached
older.
for a dark glass with ice floating in it, thinking it's Pepsi, and I downed the whole thing. I'm like 6, 7 years old. It was iced coffee, and I don't know. It took me. I was 7. It took me 32 years to get over that.
Lake Okeechobee?
Okoboji,
Okeechobee's one too, I think.
maybe.
I don't know.
So that is why I think I never got into coffee. But now, oh my gosh, like I'm going to say the last month, I've kind of discovered it. I'm definitely like 12-year-old girl creamers though. Even though I'm doing the keto sugar-free thing, God bless Coffee Mate because they make some really, really good sugar-free options. But Allie
Did
just
it
picked
really?
me up.
I've never even looked.
Allie just picked me up a maple bourbon coffee, and I do that with a little bit of sugar-free pumpkin creamer. Dude, solid.
Wow. And it's all
And I've been
chemical free.
smoking- I was going to say it's all chemicals, but whatever. But I'm less fatter than I was. So what's better?
I don't know. That's
Chock full of chemicals or
Yeah, no.
415 pounds? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I will tell you, having a cigar in a coffee is like a completely new experience for me.
Yeah.
And man, the flavors that it plays off of are unreal. I really
Speaking
enjoy
of
it.
415 pounds, what are you going to do for exercise, like now that it's getting colder? Like all summer, we were just power walkers. This week, I actually just put lifting back into my routine. I haven't lifted in forever.
I know. I feel the same way.
What are you going to be doing for working out?
I think I'm going to still walk. Like, I'm going to brave the cold and kind of bundle up when I can. At least one long walk a week and maybe 2 or 3 short ones. And like I think you kind of alluded to on one of our last podcasts, short walks, 2-3 miles, long walks, 7, 8, 9, potentially 10, depending on the cold. I have my garage kind of back up and running with the decorations away, but man, it's tough to heat. It's tough to heat.
Yeah. Did you get a heater?
Small little plug-in, but you kind of turned me on to looking at some of the propane options, and I got to see what's going to be most cost effective. And it's a 1-car garage, so I think a good electric heater should do it.
Yeah.
I just got to look.
Huh. That's what I put in, was a big electric heater, which I just realized I forgot to turn off. So did you realize that too? Like as we were talking about? Yeah. So if there's a big whirring in the background, that's the heater. That'll be. I'll turn it off in a second.
But it's funny because we need it. Like it's kind of mid-November in South Jersey, and it was 70 degrees at 1 minute, and now it's like 45 degrees.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
So nothing's really developing, like changing much here for me, which is kind of what I expected. I'm getting some spice building back up, but now I don't know if it's the beer or the stick.
It's funny. We kind of. Like I feel like we overshot each other because now the spice is completely gone. I was getting red pepper. Now I'm getting nothing. Bread.
I think mine was the beer though.
The only change I would say is maybe because the spice backed off a bit. I'm getting more of the I don't want to say sweetness off the wrapper because the wrapper is not sweetened, but the sweetness of the Connecticut, the lighter wrapper, and I'm getting like a little graham crackery, very light. On the retro, but enjoyable. And again, this is. Definitely a cigar I would pull out for someone that's never sat through a stick before and wants to experience it.
So my buddy Jay, who I talk about sometimes, when I first started getting the smoking, and you came over here for the first time, you brought me like a few sticks to kind of jumpstart my collection or whatever. And so I went over his house on Monday.
Paid it forward.
Brought him a few sticks. There's some good ones in there too.
I was gonna say, I think he gave you better sticks, and I didn't have access to the kind of sticks we were.
I know that we have now. I know, but then another one of my buddies, I was just joking with him because they kind of started dabbling at the same time after me. The other buddy Keith, I texted him and I said, "Hey, like Jay got a little humidor," and he was like, "Oh, I gotta get it. I gotta get one." He's like, but then he's like, "Actually, I want like a big one." He's like, "I want a big humidor and bourbon cabinet."
That's awesome.
That would be something fun to make, I think, from like a Facebook thing.
One side the bourbon.
Like obviously you would have to do a ton of work to it to like
get it to be functional for both.
Functional for both and all that stuff. But dude, I'm gonna do that table too.
That's going to be awesome.
I can't wait. I'll put pictures in the future episode, hopefully in the next week or two.
Got some big plans, Mr. Eric. Some big plans.
I know.
And speaking of humidors, I picked up my brother. I kind of spoiled the surprise because he knows it's coming because he was going to go buy one. My brother, who every time he comes over now has been sharing a stick, and he found a little brick and mortar. He's up in med school in North Jersey. And he found a little brick and mortar by his house, so he'll go in there and using some of the knowledge from us and just some of his other friends, but it's cool. They're all kind of getting into it. He goes, "Well, it's a great way to end the day, man." He's like, med school's done, my rotation's done. We sit out on the
so like the other
deck.
med school students are doing it too.
Yeah,
from him.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So your seed is spread far. You're
far and wide.
Yeah. That's wild.
God
That's awesome.
said greatness is to serve the many.
Me like cigars.
Well, it's funny in a way. I found it very helpful. Like, I know it's an unhealthy, quote unquote, hobby, but so was when I was like overeating and eating 5 bowls of Lucky Charms for lunch. No one seemed to like. Now that I'm like eating keto and smoking cigars, people are like, "You gotta really be careful." It's like I had 15 Jello puddings, and you were fine with that. Like now,
15 Jello puddings.
Yeah.
Speaking of, you said your brother found a brick and mortar by him. you got to come to that brick and mortar this weekend that I found last weekend, dude. It's like a superstore. I couldn't believe it when
No, I don't. Knowing what you walked out of there spending, my wife's like, "You don't have to go to the brick."
Did you tell her about it?
I was like, "We may go to a cigar shop." She's like, "Just don't tell me. Just go.
Yeah.
Just go."
I went in just because I heard it was a good selection and.
Kill it, dude. He called me. You called me.
Dude,
so
I called
excited.
him. I was like
Get out
FaceTiming.
Christmas.
I was like FaceTiming people and calling Facebook messaging people and stuff. Like, some of the stuff that we like from like Black Label and stuff.
And
they
you feel overwhelmed, and you know a good amount. You know what I mean?
Dude. But they probably had like 10 different sticks between like just from Oveja Negra, from like Black Label and Emilio and Blackworks, and. But then the guy said, dude, this stuff too, the wrap or the cellophane was like brown.
Yeah.
That stuff's been in there. Some of that stuff, they had monsters, like Tatuaje monsters from 2 years ago.
You probably can't get anymore.
Or I would think it was just, harder to get at least. And I asked him about some of that stuff, and he said like that stuff doesn't sell in his shop. So he even said when he sells out of Black Label, he's not even going to buy anymore. He's going to stop selling it, which is insane. Every shop's just a little bit different.
Right.
But to me, I said to him, I'm like, well, at least now that I know where your shop is, like, at least you will be able to sell them because I'll certainly come by. And then what Gary's referring to is the fact that I spent $500.
But I'm happy you did because, like I said, I got to bring over some of my stuff that you didn't have access to, so we kind of got to do some fun
that's
trading.
true. Yeah, and so some of the stuff I bought doubles of just so we can trade.
And I love what you said when we were doing it. Like Eric literally was like, it feels like we're on at a sleepover on your bedspread trading
baseball cards.
Or
dude, that's
clubs.
the thing. Like, and
I was like, well, I'll give you this soccer for that soccer. All right, cool.
Yeah,
Good
literally,
trade.
like you brought over some stuff in like a gallon Ziploc bag, and I had some stuff I already put in like a Tupperware thing aside for you, and we just both bust them out on the counter. And then the first thing like you picked up was you had a Saka coffin, and I had a different Saka coffin, so we're like, boom,
that's
like there's a nice trade.
Boom, yeah.
And then like I think you had a Nomad, I had a Nomad, and then like boom, boom, boom. But it was, and the thing is, it really does give you that feeling. We talk about it all the time about sticks being more than just the smoke and whatever, and how deep or whatever it can go. But even that feeling, it really is like we were joyous little boys at almost 40.
And I think when you and I were even talking about doing this and what this could potentially be, I think that's why we wanted culture in the name because of what it is.
It's true. Cedar culture. It's the culture around that. Yeah, the whole hearth idea, like that whole moment you share. And actually, it's actually even cooler than baseball cards because think about it when we're kids, right? And if you pull out like, oh, look at this Griffey Jr., Griffey Jr. rookie card, I'm gonna be like, oh my God, that's Griffey Jr. rookie. That's awesome. But with sticks, you pull something out and I don't even know what it is. And then you get to educate me on it because there's so many. And so it's like also part educational, expanding your knowledge 100%. By trading. I mean, we've skyrocketed or like hockey sticked our knowledge from these groups, right? And you get in, you trade with people and you learn about stuff because you live in a bubble. A guy actually, this new brick and mortar shop, he put it really well. It's like cigars are like bourbon. Like if you're really in the bourbon, you're gonna have to drive to shops an hour or 2 hours away because no one shop gets kind of everything. Right. And it's probably even more true with cigars actually because there's just so many different brands.
And now we're even branching out, like that stick from France I brought. Like, never would have heard of it, never would have had access to it, but just so happened to know a guy who knows a guy.
we had the Swiss one too.
Exactly. Like now we're starting to go
those European cigars,
something.
Mainly in Europe cigars. Let me go turn that heater off, grab another beer, and then we'll come back for for the second half of the stick. But any thoughts real quick?
Still bready notes. I get like a toast kind of a feel, but that could be because I'm smoking it kind of quick too, so the burn may be a little stronger. But
all right, well, let's slow down and enjoy it. Take a little break, and then get back and talk about the last third.
Sounds good.
So, what are you tasting, Garrett?
Still real bready. I occasionally get this like retro hail of sweetness, and it's not on every flavor, but like.
So it looks like you're probably just slightly past the halfway point. Somehow, for like 2 months, I smoked faster than you. Then for like 2 months, you smoked faster than me. And then I don't know if you noticed our last couple smokes, I've been smoking faster than you again. Back and forth. Back and forth.
Life's a marathon, but not a sprint. I'll tell you though, for Connecticut, like not that
I
I'm
love this.
actively shying away from Connecticut's, but
Yeah, we
this
are.
is
We are actively
yeah.
shying away from Connecticut's.
Yeah, but not like I'm not like fuck Connecticut's. I don't ever want to smoke them. Just
Right.
I would pick up a Maduro or Oscuro all the time now.
Yeah, it's not that Connecticut is a bow wow. It's just that the Maduro is the prom
Where
queen.
I'm at. Exactly. Yeah. In terms of flavor, but
I don't like a lot of Connecticut's. I don't like this one. I like. It's
what's your favorite besides like obviously we're both enjoying this? What would you say your favorite Connecticut is? If you only could smoke one Connecticut for the rest of your life, and if you need a chance to think, I have where I think I would go.
I think I know yours.
Yeah, you know mine.
It's a leaf,
Yeah,
right?
Yep.
I have mine in my head, but I don't actually know that it's a Connecticut 100%. I want to say right. So we like it's recency bias, right? Like every month or two, that answer is going to change. Not for you on that. On leaf would be yours, has been yours. But I was going to say the Lucille.
Is it a Connecticut?
I don't know.
But it's a light wrapper?
It's a light wrapper.
It's a fucking delicious smoke.
Did you end up having it? Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, I have a 5-pack. So like
Did you get a 5-pack? Yeah, I couldn't remember. You won it, right? I bought it, I think.
Yep.
And then I just got the, what is it, Freak Show? Which
is that also a lighter wrapper?
I don't know. I haven't opened it. And I don't know. I didn't even look when I bought it. I forget.
So my father-in-law is huge on Monte Cristo whites. That's like it's one of his favorite, and it is. It's a steady, beautiful smoke, baked bread.
Can you imagine smoking the same cigar every time, though?
No.
I can't even fathom it. But even with beer, couldn't do it.
No, that's true.
But I couldn't even fathom. But shop owners that I've talked to say that most smokers.
One brand,
one or two sticks in that line. And I wonder if that's a sign of the times. Like, I wonder if more people our age are like us.
I was going to just say, I think the up-and-comers in the cigar industry enjoy that flavor profile change within the stick, within the thirds. I mean, I think that's what boutique cigars are going for, that change of profile.
Well, it's an evolution because you see, too, a lot of the sort of boutique makers that you see their pedigree. And they come from like the Davidoffs, and now I guess I would say they come from the Drew Estates. The ones that have been around a while.
Drew Estate's not the baby on the block anymore.
But they were a trailblazer.
Yep,
for sure for all these boutique brands.
Yeah,
I was reading actually a little bit about like Jonathan Drew's story and super super cool. Like all like kind of personal opinions aside, it's a great story.
Yeah.
And it's cool how they started with acids, which that would be certainly the foundation of the boutique-y kind of brands, right? Yeah. But then they wanted to come out with something to hit you in the face as a real good, quality stick too. And then of course they've done that, and then a million other things. But they definitely paved the way.
And the Connecticut Leaf by Oscar, which is if I had to pick a Connecticut that would be the only Connecticut I ever smoked again, is that one. And that is the first time I saw a quote-unquote profile change. It was before I was retrohaling. It was before any of that.
Which one was that?
The Connecticut Leaf by Oscar. Starts off mellow and mild, and right around that transition first third to second third, it just opens up. And it's the first time, even without retrohaling, I was like, wow, I'm going from mild to spicy. Like seeing that for the first time, and the presentation was cool. I just remember, again, my father-in-law gave me one. And I'm like, what do you do with this? He's like, yeah, that's just the outer leaf. You got to open it up. He said some people smoke it like that. Which
I'm wondering if that's true. That can't be true. It wouldn't burn, right?
I agree, but I know some people probably messed up and thought it was.
I'm sure they've tried.
Not on purpose.
I can't even imagine, though.
And the history of Connecticut's are interesting because doing just a little bit of research. They're Cuban seed that then got acclimated to the Connecticut soil, right? Then they took that Connecticut acclimated seed and brought it to Nicaragua,
right?
Hence Nicaraguan Connecticut.
Yeah.
So it's like think of the journey that seed has had. It's a Cuban origin seed that then acclimated to Connecticut weather, Connecticut soil, and then they took it to Nicaragua and planted.
I was talking about your cigar seed spreading to North Jersey.
That's right. I think it's cool.
The Connecticut seed is spreading.
I made a joke of that in some of the cigar groups we're in. I'm like, how many people have I so I know the people I brought in have brought people in, so it's like You know,
You got little cigar babies everywhere.
no, like it's crazy.
It is crazy.
Starting a dynasty. That's what we want. It's fun. Are you getting any changes? I know you're further ahead. You're you're into your final third. I'm midway through.
So yeah, I'm into that final third. It's still creamy, but less creamy. I mean, you can even look at my smoke and your smoke.
Yeah.
Here, I mean, I don't think they can see it on camera, but you're still got that thick, pillowy smoke, and I'm turning into just a little bit of a thinner. And it tastes like, I don't know how to explain it, but it tastes like that too. I'm getting
watered down-ish.
The creaminess has come out, and so I'm getting a little bit more bitter. This might be one, I'll take a couple more puffs and see. I pretty much always take my sticks to the nub. This might be one that I say, like, yeah, it's one you take to the band, but give me a couple puffs and I'll see. And I'm curious, as you're getting to the band too.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. And there's people that swear by that whole smoke to the band.
Yeah, I mean, and I would have to believe that some sticks are designed with that in mind, and
knowing that maybe there'll be some bitterness towards the final third. But I definitely would say for the newer cigar guy, newer cigar girl, just kind of getting in where you don't want to be overwhelmed with flavor or overwhelmed with some of that high nicotine content where you get some of that cigar sickness. This is a nice mellow ride. Still with some pepper notes here and there, so you're still getting that experience, if you want to call it, that cigar experience, but good flavor. But yeah, that bready, that graham crackery notes, still a little sweetness in the wrapper. I like it. But you know what? I still, in my head, I go back to, like, if I was going to have another cigar tonight, it would be a darker stick or something else.
I might have another one tonight. I don't know. We're shooting a little later than normal, but I actually had one earlier. I had a Java Red earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, morning, 9:30 in the morning.
It's a good stick.
Java Red. I actually you had the red.
Yeah.
It's been a while, right?
It's been a while, and
dude, pick one up.
It's one of the ones I gave my father-in-law. He was like, "This is delicious," and I didn't expect that to him because, again, his favorite stick is Amani White. So, but I think he's realizing that there's these other flavor profiles because I told you I gave him a Laraton,
that's right.
And he was like, "What was that? That was delicious," and he went and bought a 10-pack.
Did he?
So it's kind of cool. Again, that older cigar smoker, more traditional, kind of set in his way, not set in his ways, but set in knowing what he likes. And I'll randomly be like, "Okay, Pops, you got to try this, or you got to give this one a shot."
Yeah.
Just going past that comfort zone a little bit.
What's the craziest? Because a couple like the Laraton you said, so like they're different than what he's used to, but they're softer.
Right.
Have you given them just like a, I don't know, pepper bomb?
No, I haven't. But you know what? I think now that you mentioned it, I might have him try the Lucille just to see what he thinks of like a boutique-y stick like that.
Boutique-y stick that's still in line with
what he
his
likes,
flavor profile. Yeah. That would be a good one.
He's had a Fat Bottom Betty with me. He's had other stuff with the aromatics in there.
Still lighter.
Yeah, still lighter, sweeter. Yeah,
you got to give him one of the media noches. He likes Manis.
I gave him one. He's so afraid. He's like, I don't have 3 hours to smoke this. He's literally said it to me. I'm like, Pops, did you go to the media noche yet?
He's not retired yet.
Huh?
Is he retired?
He's retired, but on career number 2. So he's traveling and consulting and doing all that. But I told him.
Have you given him? Has he checked out our podcast?
I don't know that he's checked out our podcast yet.
Does he know about it?
I think he's heard us kind of talk about it. Because when I was on vacation with them, we were out on the kind of deck talking about it. So,
did you know, the platform we're the most popular on is Spotify? Between Spotify, Apple, and YouTube.
That's interesting.
YouTube is our best.
Right.
I think people should check us out on YouTube. But we're actually
we're very handsome. So
the analytics would say we're blowing up on Spotify.
I
don't know if you know that.
I like Spotify. I like listening. Like when I'm on my walks and I have to listen to us, I listen on Spotify.
Yeah. So this thing is mellowed back out though. Yeah, the label was impossible for me to take off.
The harshness kind of.
Yeah, harshness. It's subsided a little bit. I'm going to keep going. Mostly, I would say I would probably put this down to be honest, but I'm going because I want to see
my smoke thinned out.
Right.
Right where yours did.
Yeah.
Label off. Wow.
Yeah.
So that creaminess, that fullness.
Take a couple of, like I said, I'd probably put mine down, but I want to see you go a little further. Pressure's on you, bud.
Yeah, I see what you're saying with a little bit of that. Bitter was a good word, almost like a hoppy bitterness to it. Not
bad, but you know what I would say?
If it stuck around, I would stop.
If it stuck around, I would stop, and what I would also say is it's Yeah, it probably not, wasn't. I think it just like lost its creaminess. Like I don't think any new huge bitter note was added, but
Yeah, the Crema lost
crema.
the Crema. But it's really funny that you mentioned my smoke versus yours,
And now,
and now
but then
mine's
mine's
yours is a
thickened
little
up
bit
again a
thickened
little
up.
bit.
It has.
Yeah, it's
It really
weird,
has.
right? The whole smoke profile had changed around that point. I don't know if it has something to do maybe in that band area. It's
It
packed
didn't
tighter.
ferment, or it didn't ferment like the other.
And then age as well,
Yeah.
or differently. It aged differently, maybe under the. I don't know if that's a thing, aging differently under the band, but
It sounds like it could be a thing.
it's now a thing,
It is now a thing.
aging under the band.
Because then there's other. We were just talking about cigar brands that don't ban their cigars.
Yeah,
Dude,
I've had some good ones. So even going back to Nomad, so they have this thing where you can buy like an unbanded kind of. I forget what they term it, but they're sticks that they.
aren't they not even wrapped? It's just a binder, right?
Shit, now that you say that, that might be
I
true.
think that's what it is. I think they're just binder and filler.
No, the ones I have. No, I know what you're talking about.
They're called like raw or something.
I don't know. Monday? No, I don't know. I don't know. No, I know what you're talking about. I think it's something different. I think the Nomad ones, they do have a wrapper. And what's cool, though, what sucks is that you don't know what they are.
Right.
What's cool is that some of them are pre-production, like pre-release.
That's cool.
Some of them were things they tested and they just didn't release, but they're still pretty good. And I've had some really good ones in there, and that sucks. Like, you'll never have it again. But what's cool, it's a fun thing, especially when I don't know what I want.
Oh, of course.
I'll just go grab the unbanded thing that I have sitting there.
That's cool. And we were talking about like how I went to the Sam Adams factory tour years ago, and after they take you to the tasting room and they're like, hey, listen, we have like 6 things on tap. They may never be released. They may be released.
Yeah.
Here's 5 or 6 samples. So you're getting stuff and you're like, this is delicious, but I'll never taste it.
You know how when you get Coke now at a restaurant, a lot of times it's that big digital machine,
Mm-hmm.
and you can do like a matrix of like 200 different things. So the first time I saw that, I was actually in Atlanta doing a tour at Coke, and they had them in there, and I had
Before they
I think it was before they were in restaurants.
'Cause
Maybe,
those are recent.
yeah, and this was back in 2009, 10, 11.
They were definitely
like,
before that.
like that.
They're
Yeah,
only in restaurants.
yeah, and they were
3
talking
years.
about how it's like the next thing.
I like doing that, especially being the sugar-free. Like, it's kind of cool to get a sugar-free vanilla root beer, or like something that I can't get anywhere. You know? How much does a machine like that go for?
I don't know.
Do you think we'll see in our lifetime a home version of that?
Well, you kind of do. I mean, there's SodaStream.
Yeah. But I mean, like a little countertop thing where you put your glass and you can punch in, I want an orange Coke or a vanilla Coke
yeah,
or a
yeah, because they may already have it, because Bevy has one. We had it in the office at my last company where that's the exact thing, but for seltzer, flavored seltzer. And so you're not doing a matrix; you're just picking one flavor, but it's like similar.
Lime, orange, whatever
It's
you want.
similar, not whatever. I mean, they have like 4 or 6 flavors, but similar in that it's just a raw, or you could just do plain carbonated water. And then they also have these other things. I forget who makes them. A few companies make them, where you could put 4 different liquor bottles in them, and then like 3 or so different mixers.
And you make
it'll
drink.
make but between the 3 different mixers and the 4 different liquors or whatever, it'll make a pretty good matrix of 20 some different drinks. So like we're there. But those Bevy is cool. That those liquor ones that I've tried, Sis is the one. It sucks. It's terrible.
I remember the first generation before any of that was even possible. It was just the scale.
It's just me.
Well, it was, but remember,
pouring.
like you could put the glass on the scale, and it was you put ice on and zero it out, and then it was the weight of
No.
this alcohol, and then the weight of this. I remember seeing it on like those
Cool.
in-flight magazines,
Okay.
like Sky Mall back in the day. You know?
Skyball or Uncommon Goods, those kind of things.
Uncommon Goods. Yep.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Wow, you're really ahead of me. It's
Yeah, I don't know
crazy.
what happened. I don't feel like I'm even going nuts on it. But I dig it. I dig it. All right, so I'll call it 5 puffs under the band that I didn't love, and then now it's back to being like a nubber.
It's good, but I'm really surprised at the difference of smoke. Like, it was clouds of heavy, creamy smoke, and now
It's all right.
It's not that it's bad. It's just that's the stick's name. It's called
Crema. Yeah, but remember, too, I guess it's supposed to be the approachable stick. It's
It
a
is.
gateway. It's so my guess is if I had a guess, they put their newer rollers on it. They probably,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to speak bad about the brand, though, because this stick was awesome. Wasabi is awesome.
Yeah.
Murcielago I've only had one. It might be in my current top 10.
That's awesome.
You
Do
got
I
to
have
try
that
one.
one?
No,
Okay.
I picked it up when we
Oh,
went
the-
to
the other store.
event at the one
Yeah.
shop.
Okay.
Remember, I just grabbed one, but I would get more.
In knowing that I have a couple of these, this might be something not because I don't like it, but that I may keep for the times newer cigar
I
guys
think
come and
so.
say, "Hey, Garrett, can we sit by the fire and have a stick together?"
Yeah.
That might be what I give them.
Oh, for sure. This is going in my buddy
and not-
Keith's Welcome to Smoking.
Yeah,
pack,
and
for
not
sure.
because it's not constructed well. Like I have some road dogs that I know, like my buddy, like they're gonna cut half of it and smoke
Yeah.
not even 10 puffs and then put it out. So that was that $1 or $2 stick, from a house blend. This is something that I think is well constructed, but maybe for a newer cigar smoker that wants to sit out for the hour and hang out, I think this is a great introductory stick. I think it takes you on a little bit of that journey of the pepper and the spice, creaminess, sweetness. It's got everything you would want in a beginner cigar, starter cigar.
Can't say it any better, so I'll simply say thanks for tuning in, and as always, long ashes.
Stay smoky, friends.
Thanks for checking out the Cedar Culture podcast. If you'd like that episode, go ahead, tap like, follow, subscribe, whatever it is on your platform of choice. And if you are on YouTube, hit that bell as well to be notified of new episodes. It really helps us out. We appreciate it.
And then don't forget to head over to Instagram and Facebook and follow us as well.
Do it.
Do it.